Hey everybody, Donna Sparacco-Metter here with your Daily Dose. And back by popular demand, we did an interview last week, Jeff and I, about our relationship, and people were like, well, we want to hear more from Jeff, so guess what?
I'm back.
He's back. So, we were talking about our relationship. Now, most of you who have seen my journey over the last 3.5, 4 years now, understood that after my late husband passed away, it took me a while. It took me a great while to decide I wanted to go out and date, and I was not looking for a serious relationship. But most of you don't really know Jeff's story, and this is a story of hope. I mean, it's painful. Any loss is painful, but I'm a big believer that adversity will actually assist us in pivoting to find things that we look for and reach for. And meeting Jeff was something that I never thought possible. I never thought I would want to. I didn't ever think I'd actually feel love again the way I had felt with Peter. So, but Jeff has a little bit of a different story. Jeff, why don't you tell them a little bit of your story?
My story. Well, we'll skip the first part about the childhood. I had a great childhood. Grew up in Central Illinois. Loving mother, father. One of 6 kids. We had 2 girls, 4 boys. I was always described by my dad as the oldest of the second family. They had 3 kids. 8 years later, I came along. Then my brother, then my sister.
So I wanted to fast forward a little bit to more when we started dating.
Yes. But,
or what caused you to want to start dating?
But no, my point is I had a really good childhood. I got married, went through a divorce, ended up being a single dad, and I didn't want to date. I really didn't. I was raising my kids. I had put it in my mind that I would rather be by myself than get involved with somebody and have drama in my life. I'd seen that happen with a lot of people, a lot of great friends, great people, that their kids, hers and his, and hers would tell him, well, you're not my dad, and his would tell her, you're not my mom, and there would be conflict. Very good people, but creating conflict, and I thought I'd rather be by myself than have to deal with any of that. So for a long time I didn't date at all. I would go out, I would be very upfront and honest, don't fall in love, don't want to get married. I'm not looking for any of that. And a friend of mine had gotten me a subscription for a dating app, and I told him, well, you just wasted your money, because he told me, he said, well, you need a woman. I said, that's the last thing I need.
All right, so I want to pause right here. So, so for the people watching, there's many people who actually have watched the Daily Dose A Donna journey who feel like, I was lucky. I don't feel that way at all. I feel like I was very deliberate in what I was looking for. And I did have a girlfriend say, you've been constantly telling us that you don't want to meet anybody, you don't want to get serious, and you're non-monogamous and you're dating multiple men, and so you didn't really get what you wanted when I met Jeff. And I said, you are correct in your perception, but you didn't hear the yearning that came out of my heart. The yearning that said, wow, I would love to connect with somebody who actually had depth and some understanding, and so that was my yearning. And I do remember having that thought, but it was so quick, and it just sort of whizzed by, and then I continued my journey. And then Jeff pops up on a dating app, and again, I was not looking for a serious relationship. I wanted to stay in my protective bubble. And I guess as you did, you wanted to stay in your bubble, I guess, right? I mean, what caused you to want to start to date me?
Well, of course, the first thing I would get these emails, and they would say, here's your next 9 perfect matches, and I would just delete them. Ridiculous. Wouldn't even look at the pictures, wouldn't bring it up. And a friend of mine had sent me an email, and so I went to click his. I accidentally clicked the dating app, and I took the mouse, and it was literally on delete when I saw the last picture in the 3rd row, the 3rd picture, 2nd row.
Divine intervention.
And I said, well, maybe I could see what she's about. And I clicked it on, and I read her profile, and it touched me very deeply, very profoundly. And I thought, well, she's an author, so I knew words meant something to her, and I sat down and I began to basically type a text to her, and I wanted to make sure I hit everything that she had talked about in her profile, and I covered each subject, and then I sent it off, and my son and I.
And that was amazing, by the way. I had never received a message through a dating app, or even if I met somebody in person through back in the day, I went to single dances and speed dating events before I met my late husband. I had never received such a in-depth, detailed, profound message that somebody who actually cared about everything I was saying. So what I really want this message to be today for these people watching is that there is hope, and it doesn't come by accident. I think people don't realize we actually did the groundwork. We spent years, Jeff spent years ironing out what it is he was looking for. His kids were first priority, as they should have been, but my priority was very different, and you know, we just feel like the stars really lined up, huh, baby? Like the stars lined up, but it wasn't by accident. And this is sort of my message to women. You know, I am an author. I did write a book about relationships. It's actually about dating. It's a journey of me and my late husband.
And right after we met, I actually ordered the book online.
Which is another first, ladies, by the way. I never had anybody I dated actually go online and buy my book. And so that was another, you know, that showed me that he cared about who I was as a person.
But I just began to read the book to have better understanding of who she is, where she was coming from, her journey, and it was all, well, again, it was very deliberate, but it was the right time, the right place. And the one thing I learned in the book, and I told a lot of people this since, the reason you go out on a date is two reasons. The first one, very important, have a good time. The second reason, just as important, see if you want to go out on a second date with this person.
It's really not rocket science.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. We met, we started talking, we could see that there was a connection even on the emails. And when you meet somebody, it's not this prolonged process of trying to figure out whether, is this the one or it isn't. You don't try to force things to happen. You let it happen naturally. But if this is the person that you like and you want to spend time with and you want to be with, then let it unfold naturally.
And it's like sales. It's like, I always tell it's like sales. Like, stay out of the outcome. Just enjoy yourself. Enjoy the process. People have lives. There's busy things happening.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. And so we just kept moving along. And I listen, it looked like love at first sight. It may well have been. You know, and somebody said to me, you know, I think it was too fast. Now, again, there's no judgment here. I'm not even feeling bad about somebody saying that to me. They think it was too fast because my late husband had only been gone maybe a year and a half at that point by the time we met. But, you know, I stopped and thought, and I go, you know, you may have felt it was too fast for you, but you have no idea what time looked like for me. And if you want to measure time, which is near impossible, Jeffrey basically had to wait 20 years. Okay, so I mean, for me to come along and be ready, right? So you know, it's all perception. And I don't want this video to go on too much longer, or this interview go on longer. I want people to understand. Feel free to share this video, share with friends who want to follow the Daily Dose of Donna journey, the Donna and Jeff journey. We want to inspire people, especially in their middle age. This is the best time, you guys. This is your time.
Yeah.
Your kids are probably grown. They're figuring out their journey. This is you time. You time. And one thing I will say before we end this is that...
You say one, I'll say one.
Okay, I had one woman say to me, and she was astonished by this. She said, you mean when you go onto these dating apps or you meet somebody, just be honest? Yes! Be honest. I was not interested consciously of stepping outside my bubble. I was still processing my late husband. Now, Jeff had an amazing ability to gently walk me through the process. But I just want you to be true to yourself. That would be my message. What's yours, Jeff?
Well, I was just going to say, if you have an idea in your mind of the person you're looking for, ask yourself, would that person, am I the caliber of person that person would be looking for? And if you're not, you need to work on yourself. You need to be working on yourself anyways, constantly.
Yeah.
But the fact is, work on yourself. quit worrying about everything else around you. Work on yourself, and as you work on yourself, you'll be shocked. Eventually, you will attract that person that you are looking for, because again, you'll be of like mind, you'll be of like soul, you'll be of like heart, and that will come together. And there's not a whole lot you'll know.
Right. And that, my friends, is how we set our dial to joy.